Hello everyone, welcome back to another lesson. And this lesson begins our new section about searching, reporting, and offenses. And let's go ahead and talk about reports, okay? So a report is basically a scheduled search that runs on a schedule that you define, and it's displaying results in some format that you specify. So the best way to see what I mean is by creating our own example. So before we can actually create a search, we have to create a report. Sorry, we have to create a search that will be assigned to it. So let's go ahead to log activity and select our event processor. And then, for example, I want to see all the 4, 6, 8 events that have occurred in the past day. And it doesn't matter what time you select in this window. It matters what time you select in the reports. Okay, but just so it makes sense, I'm gonna do it like this, and then I'm gonna modify the columns. I want to see command, and I want to remove this. All of those settings that I don't care about. Also, let me drop event count. And event name I also don't want. Move that to the first column location. And yeah, that's a decent example. Let's go ahead and save our search. Call it Windows processes. I'm going to copy that. And now when I go to reports, let's go ahead and create a new one. All right, let's create a report. Skip the page. And in here, I can do a manual. I can do it on an hourly basis, a daily basis, a weekly, or a monthly basis. So you can choose whichever one works out best for you. For this example, I'm going to do a manual report. And in here, you can select your orientation with like the way that the data is being displayed. And as you can see, you can select from 1 window, 2 windows, 3 windows, and 4 windows. So basically what the windows mean is in this window, you can show searches that are limited to only one search. In here, you can specify 2 searches. And in here, you can specify 3 searches. And in here, you can specify 4 different searches in one report. But since we have created only one search for now, I'm going to select this one because I'm only working with one search. But if, for example, I wanted to display 2 or 3 or 4 different searches in the same report, I would choose the layout that fits the amount of searches I want to work with. But for our example, I'm sticking with the first one. And in here, I can give it a title. So it's Windows Processes. You can change the logo if you want. And in chart type, I'm going to set it to event logs, right? Because this is what I want to display. And you can choose any of those different options here. And now I'm going to set the title again to Windows Processes. And in here, I can configure the time span that the search is going to be executed against. So I can say that each time the search runs, I can give it a start date and an end date, and a start time and time. So if, for example, I wanted to run the search for today, I would select 12 a.m. until 11:45 p.m. and that basically captures the entire day. And I can also select a time zone. And then I can set a targeted data selection. And if I want to limit it to only these selected hours in any combination of days that I want. So for our example, because it's a manual report, I'm going to leave it like this because I want to capture everything that happened today. And again, it's going to change if you select a daily or an hourly or a monthly report. It's going to change here, so make sure you modify it based on your time and date needs. And then I'm going to go ahead to saved searches, and I'm going to select the search I saved, and we can see it's being displayed here in a text format. And then I want to display it in a table format, and let's limit to 1000. I do not want it to generate an offense, and then I'm going to save container details, right, and turn to green. And then I can do next. And I can choose the format of the report. So I have a PDF, HTML, XML, XLS, and CSV, but they are only available for single table templates, which match ours, but I'm not going to select them. So I'm going to leave it as PDF. And then we can select the distribution channels, and report console means that the latest report will be sent to your console and no other users than you currently have access to the report console. No users other than you currently have access to the report console because we didn't set permissions to anyone else. And we can also set the report to be being sent via an email message to the addresses that we specify. And we can separate them with a comma, right? So I would type in all of my addresses here with a comma between them. And I can also select to include the report as an attachment, right? It's what we want. Include the date in the email subject and include link to report console. So you can play around those settings, but for now I'm going to only select the report console. I'm going to click on next, and now it tells me I can type in a report description and that I can assign this report to any group that I want. And it's also asking me if I want to execute this report now, and I'm going to mark it as yes, and I'm going to click on next. And then we can see a summary of our template details and our container. And I'm going to click on finish. And if I refresh the page, I see that my Windows processes report is currently generating, right? And all of your scheduled searches, you can see in here what time next they're going to be generated. So I'm not actually interested in any of those, so I'm just going to disable them. Yeah, toggle scheduling. Okay. Great. So we can see that our report has finished, and we can see under here that there's only one line, and that's because we only generated it one time. and it keeps history of the last 5 reports that you generate. And we can see that we have a PDF icon here. So if you click it, we can see that our report is presented in a PDF format exactly with the time and date setting that we chose, and with the columns that we chose. And scroll down, we can see all of the information that we have. And of course, this is just a basic example. You can modify the report, the search, the settings to fit whatever you want. I just wanted to show you guys a basic example of how we can create a simple report. And that has been it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.